To today's episode, you guys. I'm the Hooded Lid, and today I have some new products. The Wayne Goss blushes. I got two of them. Yay. And this is what the box looks like. I know some people like that. It's a silver box. It's stunning. I don't have any lights on right now because it's 100 degrees, and I don't have air conditioning if you've never been here before. I do have the fan on. I know it's a little distracting. I'm sorry for that. I just want to talk a little bit before we get into this, and then I'll turn on the lights. So, Wayne Goss this is his third installment. He did lips, then he did an eyeshadow palette and liners, and now he's doing blushes. So he's slowly making his way around the face. When I first saw the sneak peek, and I will put that in here somewhere, I thought that the first two were pink in nature. So we have the vivid one, which is called Vivid Azalea, which is a fuchsia magenta kind of color, and the one below it I interpreted to be kind of a rosewood muted pink, maybe even a little bit of a cool tone. The two below that I thought were based in terracotta. So the upper one looked like a terracotta with a bronzy, goldy, very deep highlight. And the one below that seemed like it was just a lesser version of that. So it was a lighter terracotta with a lighter highlighter. However, when I saw Mel Thompson do hers, and her light's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good, that's not really what was going on. The color that I thought was a lighter terracotta is called Coral Rose, and they're saying it's a pinky, corally color. I feel like it's a peach in its nature with maybe a teeny bit of pink, but when I saw the highlighter and the pink together, it reminded me a lot of Orgasm, which I already own, so I decided, I don't really need that. The one above that with the deeper color and the highlighter so deep, I was like, absolutely, that's not going to work for me. I can make almost any blush color work. It's just in the application, but that highlighter would have been totally useless. So I went with the Azalea, which I know, hey, whoa, what, really? I think I can do this. And this highlighter, I thought maybe, I prefer something kind of champagne-y with maybe a teeny bit of pink. Let me do a swatch. And again, I will show these swatches when the lights are on too. Voila. Voila. And the highlighter feels chunky. And it looks pretty white. The other color that I got is Peony. Looks like this. This does not look anything like the photograph from the first glam shot. So he's still doing those glam shots with moody lighting. It looks sexy, but it doesn't help you sell your product, or it encourages returns when people aren't getting what they think they're going to get. But then I saw another shot come out maybe 4 or 5, 6 days later, and that showed the colors a little bit better. The lighting wasn't as moody, but still, this was not what I was expecting. Let me swatch these. This is the blush, and it's really pretty. And the highlighter, this one is also chunky, and there she is. Now I want to compare this to one thing that I initially thought, wow, this could be the same thing. This is my Natasha Denona Strawberry something, I think. No, they're not the same. I love this. I think this is supposed to be a highlighter. I don't know what that is, but this blush is really nice on me. So I'm just going to swatch that. Okay, so this looks a little bit deeper in its pinkness, and it makes this one look like it has much more orange in it. I'm going to open the door and turn on some lights, and we're going to start putting this on my face. Alright, I just want to read you the descriptions for these two. The Vivid Azalea, that he's calling a fuchsia with a shimmering white gold highlighter, and the Blush Peony, he's calling a medium petal pink with cool iridescent pink highlighter. Neither of these highlighter stories are interesting to me, and let me show them to you again. This is my Natasha Denona that I love so much. These two this is the Peony, this is the Vivid Azalea. And what's interesting is, depending on the light you are in, the Azalea can look pretty gold. I mean, it straight out looks gold when I do this. So I'm going to do this for you so you can see it at different angles. And this one looks straight out pink. Not really my thing. So I have put on my foundation. My cheeks, I still see a little redness coming through, but we'll live with it. And I'm going to use my Wayne Goss brush and go in with the Peony color. Picks up a lot, and I'm going to take all of that off so you don't see anything. And start slow. Now highlighter is, I use foundations that have a lot of shine to them usually, and I have sunscreens and moisturizers, so I don't really have the need to use a highlighter personally. And when I do, I like the Charlotte Tilbury Spotlight. This guy here, it is perfect for my aesthetic and my skin tone. This, I'm not so sure about. So let's go in. I'm going to take a little bit of that off because I'm a little afraid. Now, one thing that I want to mention, which I think is a huge, huge improvement. It's pretty subtle the way I applied it. I mean, I'm seeing the shine in my monitor, but it's not blingy blingy, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. Now, he also suggests you put on the highlighter first and then put the blush over it, so I'm going to give that a try. These are matte blushes, and I prefer matte blush. I believe, add shimmer as you want instead of having the blush do it for you. But I am going to place it in the same place. I don't want to put this all over my cheek. And I do see it in this mirror. I don't see this in my monitor, but it's just probably the light. Pick up some more of that blush, take it off, and go. So one thing that is a major, major improvement is he finally had some professional real models on the Beautylish site. Now, they did do the glam lighting, so you're not getting an exact idea of what the colors are, but at least it's a real human being. You know what I mean? Instead of nothing, or YouTubers being his models. And I hope he's paying them because they're doing a lot of work for him. But that's all I'm going to say about that. So this side, highlighter went second. This side, highlighter went first. I don't see a big difference. Obviously, I didn't go in ham, but I don't think I would really go in any darker than this. Now I'm going to go in the other room and take a look in different light. I'll be right back. Okay, you know what? I think this is a really pretty, very wearable blush color for my skin tone. And the highlighter's not bad. It's just that's not the kind of thing I would normally do. Let's get a clean eyeshadow brush and do a little on the nose. When I do blush on the nose, ooh, I can really see the purple. I don't like that. Yeah, I do not like that. Let me just wipe this clean and see if I can kind of blend it. Not a huge fan. I wouldn't put this anywhere except for here, if that. Don't like that, don't like that, don't like that. Look, I want to look pretty. I don't want to look like I'm going out to a disco. You know what I mean? I'm not into the 80s thing. So anyway, as I was saying, he actually has real models there. I don't know. All the products on the models are supposed to be his. But the application of the lips, for instance, none of those lips are recognizable to me, to the swatches I've seen online, and to the one lipstick that I have. So I think if you're looking at these lips going, oh, I like this, you probably just need the glosses, because the lipstick that they used might have been like boop, 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 and then the gloss over it, because those lips are looking super glossy and not super peachy, which I find most of his lipsticks to be. A couple of them are pinky, and it wasn't really getting a pink look out of most of those lips. And yeah, so kudos for actually getting a model. What would be really good is if he did a video putting these on a model. So Makeup by Mario just came out, and for every product you see him applying it. He talks about the product a little bit. It's part of a marketing budget for every single company. They all have it. The people who are taking these glamour shots, they're getting paid. The studio's getting paid. The catering's getting paid. The assistants are getting paid. There is a budget for that for every company. So why not spend a couple of $100? And you could just do it in the same setup that he does all his other things in, except with better lighting, of course, and do it live. Do a model's makeup in front of us, top to bottom, or just that blush. But that would be very, very helpful in selling it, and it would also help us understand what his aesthetic is, because I've never seen him put makeup on a model, ever. And I don't know what his aesthetic is. This is just an issue for me, well, because it's clear marketing, but because everybody has an aesthetic. Makeup by Mario, we know what his aesthetic is because we've seen him put makeup on people. Charlotte Tilbury, we know what hers is. I know I can expect a lot of shine from her things. Pat McGrath, we know what her aesthetic is. We know what everybody's aesthetic is because we've seen them do makeup. But we don't know what his is, and that's very important for branding. But more importantly, it's important to us as consumers. What is he going for here? I don't understand. And he has said in some videos that he loves 80s makeup, which is terrifying to me. You know, to me that's like, well, I won't be buying anything from you, but it would be very, very helpful. And I wouldn't be, by the way, if I didn't have a channel, I don't think. Just based on him saying he likes 80s makeup. Okay, so this is marketing hoo-ha. It's important to me. It's a pet peeve for me. There it is. It's out of the way. I am going to put on some more foundation, and then we'll get into Vivid. All right, foundation is on. It is like 100 with 22% humidity. So this is, and my fan is on, so this is going to be dry in about 3 seconds. While I'm waiting for it to dry, I want to tell you what my approach is. This is my approach. This is a brush that I actually usually use for bronzer because it is not dense. And when you're working with a color like this, you don't want a dense brush. I, for instance, have some Surratt blushes that are very deep in color, and I think they would scare off most people, but I apply them with something like this with the lightest hand, and it totally works. So let's get into it. I'm going to just coat all the way around, and then, oh, look at that. Y la cara. Take it off of my hand, and there's just a hint of color there. You can barely see it because I'm using such a light hand, and I took off a lot of it, but you still get that color without looking like a clown. And this is how you can wear really deep, vivid colors on lighter skin. I don't think you should be afraid of color just because your skin is lighter. All right, I'm not going to do the other side yet because I'm going to try doing the highlighter first. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm seeing the gold come in. Now, on my computer screen, because I'm hooked up to my computer screen, it's pretty. It doesn't look gold, but in my mirror, I'm getting some gold, which I don't love on my face, because I want my shine to come from a natural kind of place. I want it to look like it's just a youthfulness. I don't want it to look like there's a color to it, and I am getting a little bit of gold. Now on this side, we're going to go ahead and do the way he says. I'm going to not knock off as much. And let's do a little highlighter on the nose. You can see what's going on here. Too long. I'm not so sure I love this color either. I think he missed the mark. Two of them are gold and two of them are white. Well, this one gold. I just feel like I want something that's a little more champagne-y or maybe a teeny bit pink, but not an iridescent pink. They're also chunky to the touch. And I've had highlighters that have a silkier look on the face. Let's do the blush over it. And I did re-dip this brush, and same thing, took it off on my hand, knocked it off. And now I'm just going to wipe it off before I continue blending. But even wiping it off on a towel, there's still a lot of color. So I'm going to try that a little bit more. Somebody who did an arm swatch on this, I think it was Michelle Wong, when she cleaned off her arm, this was still there. So this has this ability to stain. I'm going to go back with this, dip this in again, and do it the way he likes to do it, or I guess, kind of all over the face. I do have a little shine on my cheek anyway. And go back with the brush. So this is blush first, highlighter, and this is highlighter first, then blush, and then I've got some highlighter to the cheek. And if you want to see what this looks like, if you're not my skin tone, you're a little bit darker, let's go ham. I didn't knock this off. I didn't take any off on my hand. And this is not an easy color to blend. Taking this, it is clean. It's much more dense, and I'm going to use this for blending. Yeah. I think I'm pretty good at applying blush that is very, very deep in its color and dense in its color. And this one it's difficult. First of all, I look like a clown, but if you have darker skin than me, this might be helpful to you. But still, my preference would be use something that is not dense, like this, and just keep on layering up on it, because once you put too much on, then you're looking at adding foundation, and if you're in a hurry, you could be making a mistake, or you might be someone who can look cakey, and foundation is like your last choice for fixing something. It might be better, I think, to just start slow and build for the Vivid Azalea. I do think the color tone itself is good on my skin tone. I think it would probably be good on a yellow undertone, a pink undertone, but not an olive. This could be a disaster on an olive. And again, Vivid Azalea, and this is Peony. This is the one that I think is too hard to wear. And this one, it's wearable. It's just not my deal. So there you go, you guys. Here are my conclusions. I think he really missed it on the mark for all the highlighters for a regular woman. You know, he says he cares about women over 40, but I get the impression it's just women who are 40 to 50, and then after 50 you're shit out of luck. Because I just don't know any women in the 40-year-old category who seriously would wear these kinds of colors to the grocery store. You know, it's not an everyday look. Just my opinion. The highlighters are chunky. They look fine on the skin, I guess, but I've seen better. I don't feel like they're emphasizing anything, but I'm not someone who has big pores right here, so I might not be the very best judge of that. But they're chunky to the touch, and I think the colors are off. As far as the blush products, they're far creamier, and I think if you know how to apply them and take your time, this is totally a wearable shade. And for my skin tone, I think this one is also a very wearable shade, and this is a little easier to apply. But remember, for both of them, I knocked off and I took off on my hand, and it's pretty. And that's gonna wrap it up. There's 2 colors, my conclusions on the formula, my update on the marketing, which is something that can make me nuts. And that's it. They're $45. They have a shelf life of 12 months, which is kind of crazy because it would seriously take me 3 or 4 years to go through that Vivid Azalea the way I apply it to get that done. It probably would have been more approachable. If you're wearing a color like this every day, you're still not going to go through it because you have to apply it with such a light hand. If you're a makeup artist, you need this much, but for us regular people, not so much. Maybe smaller pans, lower price, perhaps. But that's it. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with me. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.